What's up guys, my name's Treerex, and this is episode 2 of Everything the Octonauts Got Wrong, starting with Octonauts episode 4. This should be a good one, since the name of the episode is Into the Midnight Zone, and it's, really easy to make mistakes when talking about the Midnight Zone. So, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Is me hearty? The Midnight Zone is a place so deep that the sun never shines there.
Well, he's technically not wrong. The sun doesn't shine there just because the light all gets filtered out by the water at that depth. But also, it's worth noting that just saying the bottom of the sea is different from saying the Midnight Zone. The Midnight Zone is when you reach a certain depth in the ocean that all light is filtered out. That is the definition of the Midnight Zone. I think the Twilight Zone is once you reach the depth that all red light is filtered out. It's considered the Twilight Zone.
Octonauts, we have entered the Midnight Zone.
It's really dark down here.
It's not dark enough to be Midnight Zone down there. You wouldn't be able to see the terrain without the lights if it was actually the Midnight Zone.
Is that smoke?
Hydrothermal vents, also known as black smokers. At least they have different suits to deal with the pressure and
Captain!
but you wouldn't actually, regardless of your suit, you would not be able to get out of the ship down there.
I think there's something alive in here.
It's worth noting that nothing would be able to survive being yanked out of the Midnight Zone and brought into an oxygen zero, like a waterless environment. It would be instantly dead.
Okay, but hurry. I'm freezing. And this light hurts my eyes.
Freezing? He should be boiling. It's freezing in the Midnight Zone.
Midnight Zone, where it's always dark and the hydrothermal vents are very hot.
Yeah, but hold on.
What
Okay.
must seem very strange to you.
The hydrothermal vents, this is a big mistake actually. Hydrothermal vents only heat essentially like the water directly above them. All the heat goes straight up, and it is generally a little bit warmer around the area, but it's not actually warm. It's still very cold around hydrothermal vents. So he would actually be much too hot, not much too cold. Especially since he wasn't directly located next to the hydrothermal vent. I'm still waiting for them to tell us what kind of worm this is meant to be, because then I'm going to look it up because it's probably fake.
I want to go home
Warm enough? Dark enough?
Still no water though.
for now. Thanks.
Okay, so they don't even address what kind of worm it's meant to be. Alright, research time. What do you even look up? Midnight Zone. Worm, maybe? It just comes up with Octonauts. Green leaf worm. The green leafworm is often seen crawling around under rocks at low tide and in and out of crevices and kelp holdfasts. Okay, so it lives in seaweed. It lives in it's a tidal creature. This does not live in the Midnight Zone. Worms in the Midnight. Let's see. Worms that live near hydrothermal. Okay, giant tube worms, yes. So yeah, they just made up their own kind of like a little rinky-dink worm for this episode. That's kind of messed up. Alright, well, that episode was pretty horrendous. That one was pretty bad. Alright, here's episode 5.
Look! Follow that plant! It's got my spyglass!
Hold on! Wait! Is this a blobfish? There's no way. There's no way they put an actual blobfish. Okay, a few things. First of all, blobfishes only live like deep in the ocean. Second of all, they don't look like this or this. they normally just look like this. They're actually fairly normal looking fish. But when you grab something and like rip it up to the up to land from the very depths of the ocean, the pressure there is enormous. Its body just like how you would look in space, right? It just like, it bursts. It becomes enormous and ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Blobfish, a natural habitat 3,000 feet below sea level, after extreme tissue damage from being pulled up rapidly by fishers. Exactly. Alright? So, I quit with the blobfish slander. I'm done with it. Do you hear me? No more blobfish slander. Right for blobfishes. Alright. I can allow it for artistic purposes, but it's worth noting that animals that use objects for camouflage, which is what this is building up to, I'm sure, don't just like do targeted steals. They grab things that make sense.
A ghost pirate.
I'm a decorator crab.
A decorator crab?
Yeah, a decorator crab. I attach things to my shell for camouflage so nobody can see me.
So decorator crabs do exist. They usually just use like rocks and algae shells, like the stuff he has there. They could, in theory, use bits of like trash or human items that end up in the ocean. They wouldn't be ripping satellite dishes off of giant buildings, you know? Like, that's not something they'd go for. They just grab a rock. Like, they're going to grab stuff that's easy. They're not going to like... I mean, I can allow it for like plot or whatever, but... I don't know what their deal is with seaweed mustaches, but okay. Alright, episode 6, here we come.
Shiver me whiskers!
Can giant squids shoot ink? Can giant squids shoot ink? Okay, they can. I wasn't sure, but they can. Fair enough.
Whatever it was, it's gone.
That's me and one of my relatives, the blue-ringed octopus. My little...
Blue-ringed octopuses are tiny. Like, really small. If Professor Inkling's meant to be a Dumbo octopus, which... How big are Dumbo octopuses, actually? Let's look that up. But, like, let's say he's the size that he is. He's probably too big, but that's fine. Blue-ringed octopuses are, like this big. They're tiny. Look. Blue-ringed octopus size. 4 to 6 centimeters. This is compared to someone's hand. They're like the size of your thumb. Minuscule, tiny little octopus. Part of the reason they're so dangerous.
Don't worry, Peso. A giant squid has the biggest eyes of any creature in the ocean. It's easy for him to see in the dark.
That's not true. Colossal squids are bigger. It possibly has the largest eyes that have ever existed during the history of the animal kingdom. In a living colossal squid, they measure about 27 meters, which is going to come to... How many inches is that? For the American audience and myself. I'm decent with the metric system, but not great. So about 10 inches. 11 inches. So about a foot. Eyes about a foot long. That's a big eyeball. That's like as big as your head. That's wild. Okay, so it's not giving me a number on giant squid eyes, but it is telling me that colossal are bigger.
We'll go slowly.
Closest thing I saw was that giant are closer to 25, whereas colossal are closer to 27. So small difference. Yeah, they made him way too big.
I've been looking for food all day.
Ah, so that's why you grabbed the gut, eh? You thought it might be food.
They made him absolutely enormous. Let's do some quick facts on the giant squid since they're not. For starters, this is what they actually look like. They're longer. This is a render, but this is a picture. They're longer and skinnier. The giant squid they have looks a lot more like a colossal squid. Here's a colossal squid. This one is a picture of a colossal squid. Colossal squids have very like large and full sort of like heads and bodies, whereas giant squids are they're actually longer. Here we go. Here's a picture. Oh, I guess colossal squids are longer. but giant squids are longer relatively compared to the size of their head. They have much smaller heads and fins, but much longer arms. In fact, you can see by this picture that they actually have longer tentacles, but shorter arms. That's an important distinction between arms and tentacles. So yeah, let me talk about that too. So squids have two different types of appendages. They have arms and tentacles. Arms have suction cups the entire length of the limb, whereas tentacles on cephalopods have only suction cups near the end of the limb. So I actually got it wrong. Tentacles are the squids, colossal and giant squids, have two very long tentacles and I think 8 arms. 8 arms. So squids also have 8 arms as well as octopuses. Squids are just way cooler than octopuses. I mean, octopuses are smarter, but squids live longer and they're huge and awesome. So yeah, that is some genuine facts on the colossal and giant squid. And this, you can see, they've got him shaped much more like a colossal squid with that wider head and shorter arms.
Another basket of those excellent biscuits, please. Cousin Irving is very hungry. A giant squid has an excellent sense of smell. Here, have another
I think
basket.
that is actually true. Let's check. Squids do have an acute sense of smell that's used as a means to catch prey. So squids actually are one of the few animals that rely heavily on their sense of smell when hunting in the deep ocean. Alright, well, I hope you guys all learned something, and that will do it for this episode of proving the Octonauts wrong, or of everything the Octonauts got wrong. I hope you guys genuinely learned something this episode, unlike you probably would have from watching the Octonauts. And I will see you all next time. Treerex, out.